All right, we're back here again. Just to top this off and finish off everything, like I was saying before. Remember, I think I was saying about the policies and things of this nature, and how everything got enacted to a point where, when this was being used, the enactments and things that processed through this were supposed to protect our rights. The things I was getting to, and I just went to City Hall the other day. I remember I was saying I was going to get the records from Mr. Francis X. Spina. Remember, he was a city solicitor of Pittsfield, from 1975 to 1977. Let me slow down. And these records is basically 75 to that time frame. I just want to fast forward to something there for you so you can see something here. Now, right here, this is a city ordinance in the year 1900 and whatever it has there. It keeps going on. It's not. It says "and" on there for those far. I'm trying to look for a date real quick because I'm just gonna review this with you. It's page 4. All right, this ordinance starting from the beginning, amending. Well, actually, let me go from the top. City of Pittsfield, an ordinance amending Chapter 2 of the Code of the City of Pittsfield with respect to a Human Rights Commission and an advisory Human Rights Committee. Now, when I first brought to the attention the matter to Mayor Bianchi, I believe this is in 2011, and I'm signed in the book. I'm going to go get the copies if they got the memo books there, that I had a meeting and I signed in there. And 2 weeks later, I was arrested because I brought up the things about this policy. I just want to show how I'm also scrutinized from being knowledgeable by the law enforcement community and how things work too. I just want to show you how, you can't set yourself up for failure. And especially when, fighting these people, you can't play in the streets anymore. You got to leave it all alone. That's the only leverage they have on me, is me giving myself to them on a platter. And I'm not doing that. Like I just had a meeting today with Miss Andrea Harrington, and she's not listening to anything unequivocally. The only thing she brought up from the videos that she said that she watches, basically, she comes at me like, you threatened to come to my house. I didn't say that on the video. You're taking my words out of context. See, that's called rhetoric. You want to try to poke me and try to get me to act out of character so you could justify the action. I'm not going to fall for that, Miss Harrington. I'm definitely not. I think I'm on a higher plane than you right now when it comes to this intelligence and being about this and get everything on board. I specifically said to go to Richmond to talk to go to your family to talk. These people don't even want you to show up at their door to talk. Even, you're the head DA in the county, and somebody's been grossly affected in the county, which you assume power, can't even come to you to talk. Can't even come to you to just voice their opinion. Even at your house or your home, no. So my main thing is, she's talking about me getting arrested. I'll get back to this in a second. And said, fine, just like I told any other of them, Mary Hurley, well, arrest me, and I'm going to be right back. But this time, like I told her, I'll be back with 1,000 or 10,000 individuals with picket signs in front of your house about the issue at hand. Do you really want to go there? Do you really want your career to stop? That's what these people got to ask themselves. Spina's gone already. Ford leaves this year in August, and Agostini's to 2023. So they trying to seal off their little legacy here and skate off with the bag. And the rest of these people, that's why it's a regime change in the whole state right now, where the new generation is coming up, and they're going to start their regime. So if these three had a scheme the whole time and moved up the pillars, what does Andrea Harrington and anybody else have up their sleeve? This lady ran for state senate and didn't make it. Now she's using this, getting this point. You got to ask yourself a question about this. Is average individual, it's just the rule of luck, a rule of thumb, but you know how this game works. You know how this game works, especially in politics. How does a lady from the CPCS turn around to be the head DA of Berkshire County? I think there's a lot of funny things behind that. We're going to see about what those funny things are, because I told her it's about secrets, and I'm pretty sure she has a lot of those. So we're going to uncover them. just like everybody else. Nobody want to hear me. Well, I gotta get something and wave it in front of your face for you to hear me. And I think it's these secrets that y'all have. I can't harm you. I can't harm you. You only harm yourself. That's what I'm learning in life. But like I told her, they can arrest me. I'm going to bail out and I'm going to do it again. So here we go, looking at this right here, this policy. And it says the establishment of a Human Rights Commission and also policy of the city of Pittsfield. I want you to listen to what I read here from this so you get an understanding more so what it's supposed to be. Now, mind you, when I went to Mayor Bianchi with this issue, knowing that I had a lawsuit, he should have took it to this commission. The city council, when I was on the TV, local TV out here a couple times, I've been to city council 3 or 4 times. I spoke like twice about this issue, and they just tried to nip it in the butt, but it should have still been brought before this council because it's grossly dealing with our human rights and dealing with civil rights violations. Now, I'm going to read. It is the policy of the city of Pittsfield to see that each individual, regardless of race, color, religious creed, national origin, sex, age, or ancestry, shall have an equal opportunity in or access to employment, housing, education, recreation, and public accommodations, to ensure that each individual shall have equal access to and benefit from all public services, to protect each individual in the enjoyment of his civil rights, to encourage and bring about mutual understanding and respect among all individuals in the city by eliminating of prejudice, intolerance, bigotry, discrimination, and disorder occasioned thereby. So if the county has affected me and I have done time that has vacated and I can't get that time back, how does this work? It's not going to benefit. I'm going to go on down here to function, powers, and duties of the commission. The function on the commission shall be to implement the policy of this ordinance by the exercise of the following powers and duties. Number 1, to receive and investigate complaints of and initiate its own investigation of. Mind you, you see the name that's signed on here. Francis X. Spina, Assistant City Solicitor. So this guy knows this whole time. He was in the part of passing this ordinance for a Human Rights Commission on a violation of human rights and civil rights and things of that nature to make everything come as equal as a whole. But yet at the same time, they're gearing up and convicting people behind the scenes. And you could go back to this hearing, subpoena hearing, in order of protection behind the scenes as a law, as a judicial community to protect the scheme that they're doing to avert the whole thing here that they're supposed to protect. This is their rules. I'm going to go on to the next page. The denial of equal access to and discrimination in employment, housing, education, recreation, public accommodations, regardless of the public or private source of such denial and discrimination, where such denial or discrimination against another individual or group is based on race, color, religious creed, national origin, sex, age, ancestry. It keeps going on to that. It's basically the same thing there. But then it comes here. Now, if I filed a lawsuit on the city about my civil rights versus human rights violation at the end of the day, I mean, that's what that is to that point. It's basically like a human rights violation. So when I read this, I want you to understand what they're supposed to do and conduct in corners that. Now, mind you, I talked to Mayor Bianchi. I talked to speeches in front of City Hall members. I talked to the mayor. I just went down and talked to Ms. Tyre again. I just talked to Andrea Harrington. Now, none of these people are following none of this protocol, and this right here is what's going to put it on track to where it's supposed to be. If I did all that time, there should be some compensation and there'd be some some type of way they should be trying to rectify that and get that in order. And this is what entitles them to it. And this is the key to everything. That's why I say when everybody looks at everything, go administratively. Administratively is the way to go. To attempt by mediation to resolve any complaint over which has jurisdiction and to recommend to the mayor or other appropriate governmental agency, federal, state, local, such action as it feels will resolve any such complaint. So I shouldn't have to beg for compensation. I shouldn't have to ask for compensation if I was wrong and it violated even the ordinance of what the whole city is conjuncted to about civil rights and human rights and my civil rights violations, which therefore is a human rights violation or they did by the law. I shouldn't have to ask for anything. Okay. in the case of any unresolved complaint or in the case of any investigation which would be aided thereby, to hold hearings, subpoena witnesses, compel their attendance, administer oath, take the testimony of any person under oath in connection with therein, to require the production of any evidence relating to matter in question or investigation before the commission. The powers enumerated in this subsection may be exercised by a majority vote of the total members of the commission only, at a hearing before the commission or at a committee thereof. A witness shall have the right to be advised to be represented by counsel present during the hearings at the expense of said witness. Now, again, I shouldn't have to ask. I shouldn't have to ask. I shouldn't have to put people in a hot seat for them to talk to me if I've been wrong. I shouldn't. I feel like the thing with Miss Harrington today, it was more so of that the plantation owner slave mentality complex. Oh, you're not gonna show up at my house. You're not gonna show up on my door. Why? Because I'm a black male with some type of aggression because I've been wronged by society. Is that what that's stereotypically what we're labeled at? Black males, especially a young black male, but an educated black male is even more dangerous. So what do you think? You just don't want me coming? I'm coming to talk to you. Then she tried to flip my whole words and bring some rhetoric to it, like I was really trying to threaten her. Huh? I'm the one that's threatened every day. I'm being threatened by you by talking about, I'm coming to give you my pain so you to hear me. You want to talk about, again, just like Mary Hurley, arresting me. I'm here, I'm coming to talk. You talking about arresting me. You talking about calling the same individuals that's out here around the nation, killing us. Killing black males. That concept and mentality is still in these people's heads, man. And I don't think it's ever going to leave. I'm not calling her a racist. I'm not saying that she's prejudiced. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying for societal way, how people are groomed is acceptable in that mindset and element. She was groomed like that. To think like that, she was groomed like that. I understand she has a family she's trying to protect, but I'm not coming there to harm anybody. If anything, I'm trying to alarm people to what the situation is that's going on and educate them. However, I got to gain your attention to educate you to this situation for you to have full understanding. That's the thing. They don't have full understanding. They're not even trying to sit down with me for, listen, if this takes 3 hours for me to break down, give me that 3 hours for me to break down and have your people record and take notes. And then you can go from there. They don't even want to do that. I did 11 and a half years. And I just gave back 11 and a half years. I think you should be able to sit down with me for at least 3 hours. To make a written report of its findings and a recommendation to the mayor in the matter which her jurisdiction review. It's all there. Kind of goes again about that and everything they should do. But they, supposed to have everything there to make it there to help. And this is another thing here. It says, jurisdiction of the commission under ordinance to seek further representation before the MCAD. I don't know what that is. I got to look into that. Or some other state or federal government agency or court by attorney, Western Mass Legal Services, Urban Coalition, the National Center for Dispute Settlement of the American Arbitration Association, or any other similar organization. The commission may request the Berkshire Bar Association or other similar professional legal organization, individual partnership, or corporation to submit the names of those attorneys willing to provide professional services on a voluntary basis for those persons before the commission or complaints. So my thing is, like I said again, I shouldn't have to ask for nothing. I should be provided with the attorneys to handle these matters. They should be providing me with anything that they can as services to do that and to get everything right and to rectify that. I just showed you my record the other day. I just wanted to show this to show you that. And then again, Francis X. Spina. You see how he backdoored the game? They signed a human rights to have a human rights commission, but at the same time they geared up with the thing with MPI to violate your rights. I just want you to see how they did it, and that's how I said it's a double-edged sword. They're on both ends of it, and we're a product. Okay, now if we weren't a product, everything that's in this that was in there for City Hall, that ordinance would be followed. I wouldn't have went through none of the problems I went today. Now, mind you, I'm just one individual. So how many convictions you think stand on what I'm talking about in Berkshire County, especially dealing with minorities, in motor vehicles? How many? Because you got to remember, It's easier for law enforcement to search a vehicle than it is a home. A car is mobile. A home can't just get up and drive off on its own. That's just a mobile home or RV, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm getting at. So a car being mobile, you're more free to leave or escape, apprehension. I just want to put that in there and say about that meeting today. There was one lady in there, the third individual I talked to, a brunette. She seemed like she was really on the side to help, but I just feel like nobody's thinking about their kids and what their kids is going to go through. They might have a friend one day that's affect them or going through something that I went through and bring them into a different world, where they don't need to be when they could have been educated and done right. Like right now, like I read something in the paper, $250,000 grant that the mayor, Linda Tyre, she's not a bad person at all. She's really trying to fight for this city, and you can look at that through an initiative. She's trying to help the minorities out here. The west side of Pittsfield and the Morningside is the worst sides in Pittsfield, literally. And she's trying to get the grants just to get those money dispersed. $125,000 over there to Morningside, $125,000 over to the west side. And they tell her, no, they want to spread the money out evenly throughout all the communities. I understand that, but these are the most underprivileged kids out here that really need the education. If you look at the criminal statistics and the numbers in Morningside and the west side, it's outrageous compared to the rest of Pittsfield if you look at it. This is where they're doing their raids. This is where they're doing all their arrests. This is where they're getting their convictions. They don't want these kids getting educated so they can keep them stupid to keep being pawns and being a product for them. Otherwise, they would just give them the money to start educational programs to educate these kids. So when it comes to 5 or 10 years later down the line, the numbers of crime and statistical crime activity in Morningside and Westside would drop. But I just don't understand it. And they know this. But everybody's so greedy, they don't want to share. Knowing that there's other fundings, knowing that there's other grants, knowing that there's other things and other initiatives they can push and channel in to make heads turn and move to get things done. And, I'm gonna just put it on this note, and like I don't think these people are taking me serious. I mean, she brought up Miss Harrington brought up the note about me killing myself, and I don't think this lady takes me serious. I think I'm gonna have to succumb to actually taking my life in front of these people, whether national TV or recorded live in front of the Berkshire County District Attorney's office or in front of the governor's office, in front of the state house, hold a meeting with the governor and just kill myself right there. The only thing I want people to do is don't take my name. Don't let these people take my name in vain. Don't let these niggas use my name in vain. Don't let these people do it. You see what I'm doing. You see what I worked hard for. Please do not let them take my name in vain. Because I'm not doing this only for me. I'm doing it for everybody. And I don't think they're taking me serious. And that's why I'm at a mental state of purgatory. Like, should I shouldn't. Trying to wait for things to get evaluated and see what they are. And I'm not trying to say suicide is anything to make them rush or do anything on their job. They do their job however they want to. When the time is right, I'll make that decision. And I just feel like that. But I'm just asking people when it comes to that point of me doing that, just don't let them take my name in vain. Don't let them use my name in vain. Stand up for what I fought for, and you see what I work for. Try to at least carry that on to hold them accountable for their actions. I'm giving my life to hold them accountable. So make them accountable. I love y'all. And like I said, even though I don't got love in life, I got love in spirit. In this life, there's nothing for me, but I do have it in spirit. And when I say I love y'all, the ones that's out there that really know me know what I mean. Peace.